Hi there, everybody. Welcome. Every week, Saturday, with Vlado here, just proven yet again the world's leading singles development coach. We are going to lift the lid behind the curtain of the Pro Tour, from juniors to the lower ranks of the tour, as well as the big boys and big girls, and you what you don't see on tour. So in future weeks, we've got some great interviews lined up with coaches, players, development people at the associations, an umpire, a TV commentator, all telling you, showing you what goes on behind the scenes. So for this episode, it's Vlado and me. Vlado, another week, another hotel room. Where are you?
No hotel room this time. I'm home.
I'm home still.
Yes.
That
Still at home.
must be a rare occasion. So for those that don't know, Vlado has been touring the world for 20 years, 11 months of the year. So I'm surprised, your wife hasn't. Whoa, get out of the way, Vlado.
No comment on that, Mark. No,
Okay.
it's difficult. We are trying to do what we have to do.
Look, you have the honeymoon every time you see each other. Must be great.
Exactly. We're getting to know each other still.
Well, Ksenia, in 6 months, she went from 39 in the world junior to number 1 and the Australian Open winner. So you clearly have a method. What did you do?
Well, Mark, every time a new player comes to me, I'm trying to evaluate all aspects of her tennis level. That means technical, physical, mental, all parts. I go through practices with her, through some matches, follow her on the tournaments, and then I try to make an assessment and try to work on the most important things that I can change rather quickly. So I will do a short-term plan and a long-term plan for the player, and then we go step by step, trying to improve those things. Yes, in the last 6-7 months, I think we did a lot of work. It was not easy with Ksenia, because of also she already has her own way of doing things. But obviously, the results don't lie. And honestly, the junior tennis is still a little bit behind. I would say a lot behind the top level. So even not being able to make everything great and perfect, it was still enough to make a very good results on the junior tour. And now the next thing we plan is to play more women tournaments and develop her game so she's able to hopefully go to, let's say, top 3, top 200 by the end of the year.
Okay, well, we'll get into that in a minute. So you're, if you like, in the nicest possible way, you're playing down. You're on the junior tour, whereas normally you're on the top echelons of the women's tour. What was it like coaching on the junior element, first of all? Then I have a supplementary question.
Well, I mean, now it's quite easy for me because coaching is allowed. So I really can help a lot, sitting next to the court, and I can give a lot of advice, even to the junior players. This is the new rule since, I think, last year. So obviously this, I think, helps a lot to the player, young player, struggling on the court, especially tactically, sometimes technically also. So, longer I spend time with the player, more I learn about the player, and the player also understands me and my tips that I'm giving her during the match. Because most of the time the habits and the mistakes are repeating, so I already know what to say and when to say it. And definitely, with the tactical things, especially in some of the tough matches that Xenia played, I think this was a big thing for her. She was able to a little bit change, the strategy, and she won, two tough matches actually by doing the correct things.
What's your view about coaching? I thought we were a gladiator sport. When you got on the court, it was just you and your opponent. And now you've got a coach. Eh? Are we turning into softies?
Everything is changing. I don't know what to tell you. Uh, I think in every sport, in soccer, in hockey, ice hockey, whatever sport, it's allowed. Tennis was different. I think, um, uh, you know, with a good concept, I think the coaching would be not necessary. But it's not always easy. I think when you have a good concept in your federation or your academy, and you are able to educate the young players, with a good theoretical preparation, not only on court but off court. Um, I think then, the players with 16, 18 years old, they are more capable of playing alone. You know, but what I see in the last years, a lot of parents, a lot of players, they just like to hit balls. They don't really like to talk about tennis much, watch videos, do the off court kind of things. It's they underestimate it,
Wow.
and that's why, I mean, the coaching is so good for these players, because the coach, or the really good coach, can always help them outside the court, and they are not really pushed to do the mind work. So, well, like I said, of course it helps a lot. I think maybe in the younger category of tournaments, maybe it would be good, to have the coaching, so they can speed up the learning process. But in the WTA and ATP, I think they should be able to play alone.
Yeah, I think, well, personally, I think we're a gladiator sport. That's the whole point. You've got to figure it out by your own, on the court, at the right time. One other question, it just seems to me, and you can correct me as ever, is that the world's top three in the men and the women seem to be more coachable than everybody else, probably even including the juniors. What do you say?
Well, for sure, like I know a lot of comments from top coaches. I don't want to mention names of the players, of the coaches, but yes, there is a lot of different attitudes, from players and from maybe the parents of the players. And I'm sure that the top players, when we look at Djokovic, Alcaraz, Sinner, Rybakina, even Sabalenka, they have a long-term coaches. The teams are with them for a long time, and they are really coachable. What I see, they are keen on talking about tennis. They are keen on improving things, and obviously, I had some players, and I saw a lot of players who are surprised why the coach is talking so much and why the coach is giving so much advice. And I would be happy if I was a player and my coach is really, trying to help me and give me a lot of information. And it's not usual. And I would say, like, probably 70% of the players, they don't really like to get so much information, and they're not really keen on learning that much.
Imagine being the coaching team of Djokovic, the supercomputer, the walking supercomputer. How can you be one step ahead of Djoko?
Well, I think there is right now two players, Alcaraz and Sinner, and it looks like these guys they did everything correct. I know. The development of Sinner was with Piatti, which is an older gentleman, older coach, and I think also maybe what helped that Sinner, he started to really focus and play professionally a little bit later in his age, and I think the information that he was getting was very very good because already I don't know how many years ago he was already top 10 and he was still young and a little bit the body was not strong enough, but he was still early in top 10 and it was I would say it was 99% sure that he will win Grand Slams and he will be probably like top three player in the world. So now his body is stronger. He's older, obviously, and uh, and it looks like he knows everything about tennis. And the same with Alcaraz because he had a good mentor for many years, Ferrero, and Ferrero was one of the top players in the world. And I think he's very serious guy, very serious coach. There is no jokes with him, and he did a great job with Alcaraz. So these guys they are probably a step ahead of Djoko, and Djoko was the one chasing them now a little bit with the speed, not the knowledge. Djoko knows probably everything about tennis, but these guys they were playing a little bit higher speed and moving fast. So he was the one to really adjust to them and was in the finals again. So this is the proof that how 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 a guy like Djokovic with 38 years old he's still learning. So well, it's
If the
all
main
about
thing is still learning, then the juniors probably think they know it all.
yeah. There is a lot of juniors. They think that we are top 10 or top 20 junior in the world, and we know it all, and they act like they won 20 Grand Slams, already, and you can check the percentage of the top 20 juniors of how many of them they made top 10 or top 20 ranking in the world or even top 100, not too many. So you know uh, you'll sometimes you learn too late. Sometimes the fame, even you're a good junior and you have sponsors and you have coaches around you and everybody's telling you how great you are because you are a top 20 junior. you know the Not many people make it, not many kids make it, and then when they are 30 they're like, oh my god, I was so stupid, I was not listening to my coach, I was too
Yeah.
arrogant. But when you are 30 it's too late, huh? So better stay on the ground and listen.
A big question. Well, do you know Rebekina quite well?
Of course.
Well,
Yeah.
um, so she come back again. I mean, she had a great tournament.
Yeah, well, I mean, Elena already it's the same story, no? The girl, she won her Grand Slam a few years ago. Uh, it's nothing new, there was a problem with the coach. The coach was banned, so it was not good for her. She was not feeling good, mentally, physically. There was a lot of problems around it. So obviously, if you have a coach for 7 years, 6, 7 years, I think they work together, and the coach help you to win Wimbledon and playing finals of Australian Open and being top five in the world, and then your coach gets banned. Even she said like she doesn't have any problem with him, and he did anything wrong to her, and he still gets banned. So I can imagine for the player was not easy, and she had maybe probably a worse year when all this was happening. But now the coach is back since I think summer of last year, and she won the world championship. She won Australian Open now. Um, I mean, for me, it's no surprise. For me, it's no surprise. She's listening. She's the one in the beginning of the relationship with the coach, I was with them a lot because they practice in Slovakia here in Bratislava many weeks a year, and then kind of I was you know having a lot of conversations with the coach, with her, and she was always asking the coach, I want to improve this, I want to improve that, please, please, please. So she was hungry for the information. She had a clear goal to be number one in the world. She believed in herself and in her coach, and and she was coachable. She was coachable. She's listening. She's working. I think they managed uh, to build a game which is good for her, which is correct for her body type, for her character. So not many girls can beat her when she's feeling good and she's fit. She has a big serve. She has big shots, big returns. She's staying calm. She's not panicking. That's why I think she won. I predicted that she's gonna win these finals because still Sabalenka mentally she's not that calm as Rybakina, and I think she doesn't like the fact that Rybakina is hurting her with the big shots, and usually Sabalenka is the one who is physically stronger than the rest of the girls. So I think she has a big respect for Elena, and I think that's why Elena won, because even Sabalenka was up in the third set. She was still a little bit shaky, what I saw, and yeah, I mean Elena won deserved. She stepped up in the third set, losing 3-0. She started to play more aggressive, and she won.
Switching the subject to tag, and this is a big question for you, tough question actually. A lot of people watching this would have played with and against the same people for year after year, decades. Yet you have a method that gets people to break free from all that and accelerate up. In due course, we will allow people to be coached by you. Can they take away one or two pearls of wisdom from Blado now on how they could get to the next level?
Well, again, like everybody has strengths and weaknesses, so it's very important to develop your strengths, not only work on your weaknesses, because your strengths are harming your opponents, so this is very important that you and coach find what is your character, what is the best way for you to approach the matches. Obviously you need to know your opponent weaknesses, and you need to know how to also tactically beat your opponent, and then even sometimes you get to play players who actually like your game. You still need to develop different strategies, even it's not your character. Maybe you're an aggressive player, but your opponent kind of like it. So you need to develop slice or spin, and then for example, I had it this tournament in this Australian Open with Ksenia. She was playing a very good match in the semifinals, and usually we have a problem because she's quite defensive, and this match she was actually playing very good, and she was putting a lot of pressure on the opponent, and she was dictating the whole match. But the other girl was smart, and she stepped back, and she was trying to keep the ball in the rally, and then she would just play a big contra shot. And I had to say to Ksenia to actually slow down and play more angles and open the court, because the girl was standing very far from the court. So even Ksenia was hitting aggressive, it was not harming the girl. So the moment she started to open the court with slower balls and more angles, she won the match. So this is it, like it's like a chess. You have to have the options, and you have to sometimes even change during the match a couple of times the options and strategy how to beat the opponent. And this is important that you develop this with the coach, So you have many ways to beat the opponent.
So, I mean, you're always a diplomat and humble, but then Emma Raducanu then sacked her coach because the coach was training her in variety. She just wanted to hit it hard into the corners.
Well, I don't know. I don't believe much what I read in press. so, well, I mean, again, the strategy is to play aggressive because everybody's hitting hard. Look at Sinner, look at Alcaraz. They're hitting hard, but also in some of the moments they hit the angle, they hit the the drop shot, they hit the slice. So it's also knowing when to hit those shots, and then if especially in girls tennis or women tennis, they're a little bit different. The girls and the mind gets preoccupied with all this strategy thing, and then they are doing all these kind of changing rhythm and drop shotting and this and that they are doing in a wrong time, and they're losing because it's kind of it's too much you know too much information in the head. So I understand, and it's absolutely correct that first you need to create the pressure, and then when you get the slow ball, then you can do something with the slow ball. But everybody's playing so aggressive. So, like I said, even when you watch Alcaraz or Sinner or Djokovic now, most of the rallies are very aggressive and big serve and big return and so on. But there is this finesse in their tennis that when they get a chance, then they are able to do to change something.
So that led me perfectly into my next question. Apparently, only dead fish go in the water, which was Moragatu's quote that
Yeah.
Sinner and Alcaraz were way ahead of Nadal, Djokovic, and Federer. What's your view?
Well, I mean, again, it's unnecessary talk because we can compare Sampras and Federer and all the generation across. So I think Djokovic, he beat Sinner this Australian Open playing unbelievable fast, but I don't really know, and I cannot really compare Nadal and Federer to these two guys because it's impossible, and I think it's absolutely stupid to actually even try to do that. Uh, uh, they are good now in their generation. I think the other guys they are lacking. Everybody's lacking something to beat them. These guys are really playing great. The only one who can actually harm them a little bit is Djokovic now. So I would say, like, come on, to rest of the guys, you have to do better because there is some good players. I like Draper. I like a lot of young players, but they need to work harder. They need to like we are talking about. They need to be coachable. They need to learn about the game. They need to learn how to sometimes even take some risks, especially in the practices. To go to another level. So I don't see anybody playing serve and volley. It's very little, and like for example Alcaraz, most of the time when he's up 40-15, you can see he is always playing serve and volley. He's not afraid to go there. So it's about the perfection and the speed and the right strategy. So in the preseason, in every time you go on the court for a 1 week, 2 weeks practices, you need to add something to your game to be able to get where Alcaraz and Sinner are right now. I think it's possible. It's just you have to have the mindset to go that way.
And get to love the pressure. Justin Rose said in golf, if you don't get to love pressure, take up something else.
Yes. Well, for 100%, 100%. Like uh, uh, I witnessed this with my players. I did it when I was a player, when I was 16 years old, and I started to play with the ATP players. I was getting killed, and I was quitting tennis, and then, with the time and with unfortunately I didn't have a coach, but I was trying to copy them, and I was trying to 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 kind of play a little bit more aggressive and more risky, and also, like I said, there is some things when you are 16 and you think they're impossible to do, but when you try, you can see that it's possible. You know what I mean? So a lot of these kids and a lot of players who are 50, 60, 80 in the world, I think they are used to do things, and they would say like, this is impossible and that is impossible. This is impossible. But I think they should totally change their mind and just believe in themselves and try the impossible to make it possible. I literally I understood, like, for example, when I was young, and I told you I was struggling with the ATP players, and I went to play Wimbledon juniors, and I was watching Agassi practice on the grass Wimbledon, and he was hitting, very hard and very accurate. And one thing I saw that, this guy, even the ball was coming deep and he was playing a half volley, he was hitting the half volley full power like it was a usual shot. You know what I mean? So this is, for example, I said, okay, if he can do it, I need to do it too. So before I was afraid to hit the half volley because it's a difficult shot and I was afraid to miss. And then I started to work on it. I started to work on the aggressive half volleys, and it became absolutely normal to hit the half volley with the full speed and aggressive way.
Great. So you're back in Slovakia. Have you got rid of jet lag yet?
Yes, it was not easy the first couple of days, but I was able to take a few days off. I'm leaving on Monday. I'm leaving to Paris to do preparation. Yeah, so not easy, not easy. I was 1 month in Australia. We didn't almost have any days of rest because we played 3 events there in Australia practicing. So I was really a little bit tired. So I was really taking some days to rest and be with my wife and with my son, which gives me a lot of energy.
Great. So now we're on the tour. So the tour is very different from the Grand Slams. How are you planning the next quarter for Kazhenya?
So, already last year when she broke into top 10, I told her that the goal is to play as many women tournaments as possible. So to play Grand Slam juniors, it's one thing, but the real goal is to improve and be able to play on the women's tour. With reaching the finals, Ksenia, she got another tournament because she was limited with tournaments. As a 16 years old, she only get to play 12 tournaments. Now, reaching the finals and winning the Grand Slam, she get one more tournament extra, and one more wild card. So we will play 6 tournaments until April. Then she turns 17, and we get another 16 tournaments. So
okay, well, we'll dig into that next week because I'm unaware of these rules. Yeah. So next week you'll be in Paris, yeah?
Yeah, we will do preparation 1 week in Paris, and then we go to play a WTA tournament in France. It's a 125K tournament. Ksenia, she gets a wild card for the main draw, so it will not be easy. It's a high level tournament, probably top 150 players, in the draw. So this will be another option for her to get to play top players and try to get on their level.
What will you be able to bring to the show next week to prove you're in Paris? What can you do?
Again, I didn't understand.
Oh, what will you be able to bring on the show next Saturday to prove you're in France?
We travel on Saturday. Actually, we travel to Bordeaux, close to Bordeaux, because the tournament is there. So yeah, I can. We can do the interview from the site or from the tournament.
Or something.
Yeah.
Big French stick or just something to go, hey, I'm really in Paris.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vlado, thank you for your time again, and have a good, safe trip, and have a great next few weeks with Ksenia, and we'll catch up.
Thank you.
More interviews, more players, and just share what goes on behind the scenes.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Mark. Bye.